The project we're talking about today is a new river crossing which connects the villages of Philo and Duncan Falls. It's a vital crossing, a vital link between the two communities.
The bridge was very old and historic. It had a lot of significance to the local community. There's a lot of history, a lot of memories for both communities.
The existing structure had outlived its useful life by more than 20 years. It was a through truss built on top of sandstone piers which were built in 1875. We were constantly having to make emergency repairs on the structure.
Any lengthy closure was a burden to the communities, the school districts, EMS, and it was also a burden to the county as a whole because it was a vital path for trucking to get across the river. It got to the point where, budgetary-wise, we knew that replacing this bridge was our only option. We eventually secured $5 million of federal funds just to kind of get the ball rolling. And with that, we knew we could at least start the design, look into the feasibility of it. And then that's when we contacted E.L. Robinson, contracted with them.
We really wanted to deliver a product that served as an anchor point for the community, being this type of bridge over this type of waterway. We wanted the county engineers' constituents to feel like they actually got a product that was of value to them.
Since this is considered a major bridge, we did a very comprehensive structure type study. We did cost estimates that were laid out in a huge matrix for 15 different bridge options, and that consisted of varying the spans, the number of beams, and also the beam type. We concluded from our bridge type study that the best bridge was going to be a 7-span, 6-beam, pre-stressed concrete I-beam bridge.
We tried to locate this close enough to the existing structure to provide the community connectivity that they have now, make it a walkable connection, but far enough away that the contractor could access the new bridge and the old bridge with one causeway while trying to minimize impacts to wetlands in the river, minimize impacts to the existing dam and lock structure.
We really wanted to pay homage to the existing sandstone piers from the truss. So we put in detailed design, like there's an angle iron that's on the east and west face of the piers that was an exact replica almost to the sandstone piers. We put in some nice line features and a cap on it so that it would be very appealing to the eye as you looked downstream at the bridge. One of the important design features that we had to include in this bridge was preventing the obstruction of the view of the beautiful Muskingum River. To do that, we developed a nice open rail on the pedestrian side of the bridge. For the vehicular rail, we used a replica of a Michigan rail that has a half-height knee wall with a rail on top to open the view to motorists as they travel across the structures.
The two communities really act as one community. So providing that pedestrian accommodations on the new structure with a sidewalk and a barrier-separated path for the users was really a major safety point that we wanted to get across in the new structure.
Everyone felt that we needed to get this design moving as quick as possible. So once the preferred alignment had been established, the design team focused on getting the environmental coordination and the right-of-way acquisition work done.
This project was the first project in the nation to use federally funded early acquisition because the timeline was very condensed to get the old bridge replaced in time. There was a total of 9 parcels that had to be purchased. Normal right-of-way process is you don't start buying right-of-way until the environmental document is cleared. But in this case, the environmental document included Coast Guard clearance, ODNR had input, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So by the time that document was approved, there was only 4 months until the project was scheduled to sell. So without the early acquisition process, this project would not have been able to be sold on time or on schedule, would have been pushed back.
ODOT helped us out by fast-tracking the right-of-way process to keep the project on schedule. One of the biggest examples of partnering that I was able to witness was getting through a lot of the historic requirements and trying to preserve such a historic area to the community.
On the south side of the approach, there's a lock dam, historic lock house, historic ramp structure, so a lot of features in the area that we really tried to minimize impacts of. And we took this area and really tried to enhance as much as we could. We put a parking area for access to the lock house.
We're standing at the park that we constructed for the Lock 9 dam and lock. We used the original piers to create this park. We've got a bench and a plaque for information with the previous bridges. So this is the capstan that would have been used to turn the turn span on the previous bridge. There is a huge gear on the rounded pier, and they would literally just turn that span so that boaters could go through.
So a person lived at this lock tender's house, and it was their job to go down and open the gates for the lock system. And so it was really cool to keep this and preserve this, and it is a historic landmark.
The Muskingum River is designated as a navigable waterway, and so since we have that designation very early on in the project, we had a lot of coordination that happened between the design team and the U.S. Coast Guard.
With all the stakeholders, you had the county engineer's office, ODOT, the consultant, E.L. Robinson, but then you had all the local stakeholders. You had the school district, EMS, fire department, but then there was also some state agencies. All of this had to be coordinated throughout the design, and we were fortunate that E.L. Robinson and ODOT was able to help us get through all of that coordination, and without their partnering on that, there's no way we could handle a project of this size.
It was very great working one-on-one with the designers, with Muskingum County and the contractor, and all tackling these problems that we experienced on the project together to accomplish the same goal.
The community was very supportive of the new structure. We had people that were there every day watching the construction of the new structure. Whether anything was going on or not, they were down there checking it out. During the day when they actually demolitioned and dropped the existing truss with using dynamite, they dropped it. The place was packed. There were people all over the place. And on opening day, they had a parade. The community loves the bridge, and they love the lighting on the bridge.
I think the final bridge is absolutely gorgeous. It does serve as an anchor point for the community.
This project was a true collaboration of everybody involved, from the state, local level, the design team, our sub-consultants, everybody involved really had to come together, try to coordinate. We had several meetings on site, in office, trying to work through all the design decisions, the environmental coordination, the right-of-way process, all through the design really, and into construction. It was a true team effort to try to get this project done on time.